Hello, welcome to my channel BK World TV. Today we will be continuing on the Build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series from DeAgostini, Japan. This is for Pack 17, stages 63 through 66. So we will be continuing on the Build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series for Pack 17. Stages 63 through 66 from DeAgostini, Japan. So as you can see, we have the magazine here for Pack 17, as well as all the parts, and looks like the scale frame for the drive section that holds the warp nacelle here. It's a large piece, but anyways, let's first take a look at the contents of the magazine before we get started on the build. So let's take a look at the magazine first. So here we have the magazine for Pack 17. We have the builds for stages for 63 through 66 here in the front. But we'll skip over to the magazine here. So first off is for Season 4, Episode 1, the Best of Both Worlds Part 2. This was the two-part episode series of the Borg. As well as Locutus as well. So obviously very intricate and great episode. Both parts to it, and they talk a little bit about the I think the damages of the various ships at Wolf 359 here. All the models there as well, including the single nacelle Freedom class, as you can see there as well. And then the next is episode 2 from season 4, which is the family. So I think they have some information on some of the layout of the set as well there. And then in episode 3 is Brothers. I think this is where Dr. Soong kind of how do you put it, recalls data in order to get the emotion drip. But Lord also shows up as well. I think Data commandeers the Enterprise D to do this as well. And then as you can see, they're putting on the makeup for Dr. Soong on there, the prosthetics. Interesting on that, as well as some of the layouts. And then episode 4 is suddenly human as well. They talk about I think some of the Talarian ship design there as well. And then just a little picture of Jean-Luc Picard, or Patrick Stewart, which plays Jean-Luc Picard, but he's also playing Locutus, and is taking a break there, reading the script as well. And then in episode 5 is Remember Me. I think this is when Dr. Crusher is stuck in the static warp bubble. So as you can see, got some on-screen scene as well as behind the camera scene as well. And then episode 6 is Legacy. And then has a little bit of a map painting of the kind of the visual of the city there as well. But yeah, that's just a quick review of the contents of the magazine for Pack 17. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started on the build. In stage 63, we will be working again on the skull frame for the battle section, putting in some of the struts, as well as working on the deck panel here for the underside of the saucer section. So let's get started. So first off, we will be placing this bracket support rods onto the battle section of the scale frame right here. So these support rods, as you can see, we already placed 2 here already, and then we're going to place 2 more right on the back side right here, just like that, and the other one basically is going to go in right there. So anyways, let's go ahead and get the support rods installed. So we will be securing the support rods into place with 2 BM screws, 1 for each of the support rods. Let's go ahead and get the rods installed now. So just like that, as you can see, we have the other 1 rod installed. So next we're going to install the other rod there on the other side. So as you can see, we now have the 2 additional support rods installed. So now we'll set this piece aside and then start working on the deck panel right here. So this deck panel for the lower half of the soldier section is metal. So we'll be placing some window parts onto the deck panel, as well as the 1 escape pod hatch. So we'll go ahead and get those installed onto the deck panel first. So we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now got the 1 escape pod hatch and the windows installed onto the deck panel. So next what we'll be doing is we'll be installing the reflectors here. So basically it'll be these 2 silver reflectors. There's also a black reflector. This is for the to hold the escape pod hatch. So we'll set that aside for now. We'll go ahead and get the so the smaller rectangular reflector here is gonna secure right in on the top there, just like that. And then the reflector labeled BR is gonna be for the 3 pair, one of the 3 windows. It's gonna be sitting just like that. And then we will be securing the reflectors into place with 2 AM screws. So let's go ahead and get them screwed in. We have 1 reflector screwed in. We'll screw in the other reflector here, just like that. So now we got the reflectors for the windows installed. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fit the escape pod hatch bracket here. So basically, the side that's narrower on the bracket is going to be pointing down or to the larger side of the deck panel. So it's going to be sitting just like that. And then we're going to secure the bracket into place with 2 AM screws. So let's screw it in. So as you see, we got all the brackets and the reflectors installed onto this deck panel here. So that is it for stage 63. In stage 64, we will be starting just a little bit onto this big, large piece here, which is the section that's going to hold up the nacelle pylons. So this is part of the this is where the ends here. It's going to later attach to the 2 warp nacelles. But we'll be installing some small pieces onto that, and then we're going to also install a phaser array onto the deck panel that we were assembling in the previous stage. So this is a fairly short and simple stage, so let's get started. So as you can see here, we have the skeletal frame for that is part of the nacelle pylon. So we'll be installing these 2 pylon side panels, and then we're going to be installing them on the left side right here. If you're looking, this is the end of the ship, and then this is the front part of it. So we'll be installing it onto the if you're looking from this direction, just like the booklet or the magazine, we'll be installing it on this side. So basically all we need to do for this piece is to just push it into place. So let's go ahead and get this pushed in. So just like that. These 2 tiny pieces are plastic. Well, the frame is metal. But yeah, basically we just need to push this in, and then that is it for this piece here. So we're going to set this one aside, and then we're going to bring back the little deck panel here that we were working on in the previous stage, stage 63. And then we'll be installing the ventral phaser array here. So it's going to be it's going to attach right there on the bottom of the deck panel. Then we're going to flip this over and then secure that into place with 2 CP screws. So let's go ahead and get this phaser array screwed in. So as you can see, we now got the ventral phaser array installed onto this deck panel here. And then that is it for stage 64. So very quick and simple stage. So next we'll move on to stage 65. In stage 65, we will be assembling another piece of the deck panel here with all the windows, and then attaching this deck panel as well as the deck panel that we set up or build in the previous stage onto the saucer section. So let's get started. So first off, as you can see, we have this plastic deck panel piece here. This one is using the longer version of the windows. So we'll go ahead and get these windows installed and then be right back. So as you can see, we now have all the windows installed. So next what we're going to do is we're going to install the reflector panel here. So for the reflector panel, the side that on top will be the one with the little notch, and where one lighting goes, the bottom will have 2 lighting cables attached to it later. So we'll go ahead and get this piece set in, and then we'll be securing this for now with 1 BP screw that will be going onto the top hole there. So let's go ahead and get this one screwed in. Then just like that, we now have our deck panel all set up right there. So we'll go ahead and set this piece aside, and then bring over the saucer section so we can get the lighting cables and these deck panels installed. So next what we'll be doing is we'll be adding connecting these 2 short lighting cables here. They will be going onto this for the 3rd circuit board that's on the very bottom, and the last 2 connectors, as you can see there. Then we'll be also separating the wires, as they will be going in different directions as well. But first we'll go ahead and connect them to the PCB board. So let's go ahead and get them connected. And then next, the wire that's connected to the bottom slot on the board is going to basically go down underneath the skeleton frame there, just like that. Then it'll be also separated just a little bit, so we'll go ahead and separate the wire here. And then for the other wire, the red and the black wiring, so we'll separate the 2 here like that. So the red and black wiring is just going to go on top of the skeleton frame right here, and then the yellow and green wiring is going to go underneath and across onto the side hole here, just like that. So we got 1 cable where both lighting is going to go inside the skeleton frame underneath, and then for the other one, red and black will be on top, and then the yellow and green is going to go underneath the frame but onto the side. So now that we got the lighting into position, what we'll be doing next is we'll be bringing over the deck panel here, the one we just created earlier with the windows. Then basically we will be connecting the lighting cable. So the yellow and green cable is going to go right here onto the left side, and then the red and black is going to go onto the other side. Let's go ahead and get the lighting slotted in. And then once we have the lighting cables inserted into the deck panel here, we'll be securing the reflectors into place with 2 BP screws. So let's go ahead and get the final 2 screws in. So now that we got the reflector all screwed in, next what we'll be doing, so we'll be moving this panel slightly into position here. So as you can see, we got the panel into position. For this panel here, there is a small pin underneath that's gonna go into the tiny little hole that's on the skull frame. So basically it can only be positioned into one specific area. And then next, what we're gonna do is we are going to connect, or at least seat, the red and black lighting cable that's just gonna be seated right on top of there. Let's go ahead and get that one seated in, just like that. We'll leave that close to seated in for now. And then next, what we're gonna do is we are also gonna take this deck panel here that we set up in stage 64, and then this is gonna go right on top of the other deck panel, just to make sure the lighting there stays in position. So as you can see, we've got it into position. It is slightly tricky, as you need to make sure that there's some little notches on the panel that needs to go underneath this side here, but you won't be able to loosen this panel here because the screw will be underneath this panel. So once that, so you're gonna have to try and wiggle it in, but once that is in, then you can we will screw this in with 3 FM screws on these 3 holes here. So let's go ahead and get those deck panels screwed in. So now that we got the deck panels installed, next we'll be testing the lighting for it. So now that we got the deck panels installed, next we'll be testing the lightings for it. Let's turn off our studio lights here. And then as you can see, the lighting is working as well. So let's go ahead and turn back our lights again. And then that is it for stage 65. In stage 66, we'll be working on the section of the port nacelle pylon, and then also starting on the next deck panel for the underside of the saucer section. So let's get started. So first off, we'll be taking the lateral phasor array, which is this piece here, and then putting on 2 of these springs onto the pin of the phasor array there on the inside. So we see that in just like that. And then we'll be attaching the lateral phasor array onto the outer side of the panel here for the pylon, and then we'll be putting it in from the inside here. It's going to be seated in just like that. And then next, what we'll be doing is we'll be bringing in the skeletal frame for the nacelle pylons. And then we'll be bringing over the outer panel cover here. So next, what we'll be doing is we'll be bringing over the nacelle pylon skeletal frame. And then we will be placing this deck panel here, one with the lateral phasor array, and then it's going to go right here onto the outside. And then the 2 springs are going to go right into these 2 holes in the center. So attach just like that. Then we'll bring over the cover that's going to go into the inside panel that was included in the previous stage. And that's going to line up on the inside here just like that. And then we will be securing both pieces together with 2 BP screws. So let's go ahead and get this screwed in. So once the screws are in on the inside, we will use another 2 BP screws and then get the outside panel screwed in as well. So let's go ahead and get this screwed in. So now that we got the panels screwed in, next we'll be taking 2 cover for the screw heads, which is these little pieces right here, and then we'll be placing them onto the inside screw holes there to cover it up. Let's go ahead and put those covers on just like that. So as you can see, these screws are now covered. And then we'll go ahead and set this piece aside and now move on to the metal deck panel here for the saucer section. So for this one, we'll be installing 1 escape pod hatch and then looks like 5 windows. We'll go ahead and get those installed and then be right back. So as you can see, we now got the windows and escape pod hatch installed. So next, what we'll be doing is we will be installing the reflectors. So the short rectangular reflector here labeled AL is going to go onto the lower window portion there, just like that. And then the reflector labeled BL is going to cover the top windows right there, just like that. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 AM screws, 1 AM screw each. And then next we'll be attaching the bracket for the escape pod as well. So the narrower side of the bracket here for the escape pod is going to be pointing upwards to that's the larger end of the deck panel there. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 AM screws. So let's screw it in just like that. So as you can see, we now got the bracket and the reflectors installed. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to install the ventral phaser array here onto this deck panel here, and then we'll be screwing that in from the other side with 2 CP screws. So let's screw it in. So as you can see, we now have the ventral phaser array installed onto the deck panel. So that is it for stage 66 and for pack 17. So as you can see in pack 17, we got these 2 deck panels installed. That's on the underside of the sensor section. And then also started work installing the panels for the nacelle pylons here. And then also installed another, or set up build another deck panel. I believe, I guess that may go somewhere maybe on this side here, and maybe in future in the next stage as well. But yeah, so far it is looking really nice, starting to piece together as well. I think we are close to the halfway point, I believe, almost there to the halfway point. I think there's maybe 30 or 31 packs altogether, but we're getting there, one pack at a time. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay tuned next month where we start on pack 18 and start maybe completing a few more deck panels as well. So look forward to that, and I will see you next time. Bye.